Hi, everybody. My name is Kambua. Welcome to these conversations that we have been calling Sauti ya Mama, which simply translates as the voice of the mother or the woman. And we are looking, courtesy of Better for Kenya, we're looking at women's health here in Kenya, around the continent, around the globe, because women's health issues are important and we have to talk about them. We have to talk about what's working, what's not working, what can we do better, how can we better advocate for ourselves. And I have had the privilege and the honor of just speaking to phenomenal women who have, we are trying to demystify menopause, what perimenopause is, demystifying endometriosis. And today I have a lady who I deeply, deeply admire. She is not a stranger to any of you. In fact, if you don't know this face, please pinch your nose for me, okay? Wahu, I'm so happy that you're here. Yani, how do I even introduce Wahu? Excuse me, let me do it. Wahu is a celebrated artist from Nairobi, Kenya. She is married to Nameless Madengesh. They have amazing children, 3 children. Yes. Wahu, you have an 18-year-old.
I have an adult.
Excuse us.
I know.
How do you look like this with having an 18-year-old?
Well. Oh my God, no, but I thank God. Yes, yeah. She turned 18 in August.
Yes.
And the first thing she was like, now I need my ID. Now I need to start doing what? And I'm like, hey.
Is that scary for you?
Oh my God, it's scary. So I went through, when she turned 18, I went through a weird, what was that? I'm happy and sad at the same time. I was feeling like I'm mourning.
Yeah.
The loss of the baby phase. Mm-hmm. I don't know how else to explain that. I'm mourning the loss of, she's got my baby. Yes. But I'm also happy because I'm like, oh my God, look at you. You're such a beautiful, strong-willed young woman. Yeah. And so it's a very, very interesting dual feeling. Yeah. But
and I guess looking at her, you also, do you like pat yourself on the back because it has taken work to raise her as well.
It has taken a lot of work. And for me, the one thing that I remember when I got her 18 years ago, I told God, you have to be part of this journey because you are the one who gave me this child.
Yes.
The most important thing for me is to raise a balanced, normal, productive woman who is going to do the thing she was put on this earth to do. And I said, God, you gave her to me. It was not a choice any of us made, but obviously I wanted her. Yes. But I told him, you have to help me. You have to be part of this journey. Yeah. So I thank God. I'm very, very grateful. I mean, it's not with your first, and she even laughs and jokes about it, like, hey, Mom, I'm such an experiment. Because we've tried homeschooling. We're like, it's not working. Pull back. We've tried this system, that system. And she's like, hey. So I go through, she laughs about it. She's like, I'm like, but we are all learning. I need you to know that everything is coming from a place of love.
Yes.
So we try, it's not working. Shift. Yeah. About. Shift. Okay, this seems to be working.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of that. And of course, we discuss a lot. My husband and I, we discuss a lot. Should we do this? Should we do that? So there's a lot. I'm grateful to have him as a partner as well as we raise her. And
how do you, you've said you just wanted to raise an ordinary or a normal child who's balanced to, how do you, Wahu and Nameless, raise an ordinary child, being who you are? I mean, everybody is watching you guys, watching how you're parenting. There's such a spotlight on you constantly. Motherhood, parenthood is already so layered and so difficult, but then you're now doing it with under the scrutiny of everybody. Yeah. How do you manage to
like I said, with God, because for me, even the career, Kambua, I am such an introvert.
Yeah.
I am a super introvert. Like
there are people who are disagreeing
in this room who seem to not agree with me, but I am completely an introvert. But I told God, you gave me something, a gift that requires me to be in front of people. So you're gonna have to help me figure this out, So the same thing I'll say, God, I'm like, you gave me this child. I am not about to raise a brat. You know, I'm not about to raise a spoiled girl.
Yeah.
I'm here to raise children who have a purpose, and with God's help, we're going to get there. So that's my intention. So I'll say, again, with God's grace. So we'll look and say, I want her to be able to make friends and have fights and make up and figure it out, you know, just like everybody else does.
Yes.
And to figure her lot and her path, you know, as everybody else does.
Yeah.
So I block out a lot of the eyes, because in as much as I'm aware of them, they may limit what we're trying to do.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So again, I say it's God.
Yes, absolutely.
And we are not perfect. Yeah. We've made mistakes. We make mistakes. And I even tell my child, listen, I promise you, and I will make more mistakes. Yes. And that's only part of what makes me human. Yes. But what you need to remember is, I love you, and everything is coming from a place of love. Yeah. And when I blunder, I ask you to forgive me. Yeah. And when you blunder, I will forgive you. Yeah.
Yeah. So you had your first child 18 years ago. Yeah. And then you have, how old is your second one?
My second is 11.
11.
Yes.
And then you have a little baby who is 2.
Yes.
Has she turned 2 yet?
She's turning 2 in October.
She's turning 2 in October this month.
This month, yeah.
The Wahu of 18 years ago, I imagine, is a completely different woman, or has changed quite a bit. So walk me through mothering 18 years ago, and then mothering now, continuing to mother up until now, where you have a 2-year-old, almost 2-year-old.
Oh my God. Do we have time? Because here's the thing. When I got to Miso, I got pregnant immediately after I got pregnant.
You got pregnant?
Fasting.
Yeah. We'll take that again.
We're going to take that again. Okay. I got pregnant immediately after I got married.
Right.
So there was no like, let's now figure out marriage life and whatever. So I got married. Yes. And then as a young bride, the pressure of how you need, oh God. And also, the pressure you put on yourself and what society puts on you, like you watch a kind of wife you have to be and the kind of whatever. Yes. So you're trying to navigate all that, and then you get pregnant. And I'm trying to figure it out, trying to get the baby, be a good wife. You know, it's not this, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. And trying to understand, who am I now as a mother, as a singer, as a whatever, and trying to do it all. I don't know why. I look back and I really empathize with that girl. I'm like, I'm sorry. There was so much pressure. So much pressure to, you still have to be a performer. You still have to be super wife, and you still have to be a super mom. And I'm like, I don't know how to do all this. It's a lot. So what ends up happening is you end up pretending that you have it together, yet you're falling. I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. The second guessing yourself as a new mom, trying to figure out your new relationship with your baby, trying to figure out this. Once the pressure of being a new wife, Lord. And then I'm being told, your husband must add weight. The sign of a happy man. Yes.
Pika hiyo chakula.
The guy is not adding weight. I'm like, you're not happy. I'm like, I really look back and I really empathize, because there was so much pressure. Let me say, misinformation, taking on the wrong energy and that sort of thing. And so, but at the same time, loving the baby, she was my joy. And that's the one I wrote, Sweet Love. I wrote Sweet Love when I was carrying her. And interestingly enough, I got pregnant. I had a miscarriage before I got pregnant with Tumiso. Okay. So for me, it was, she's my first rainbow baby. Yes. I have 2 rainbow babies. That's Tumiso and Shiro, my second.
So you had another miscarriage before your third born.
Yes. So there's this joy and this confusion as a new mom back then. But also, so now move forward to now, growing older, and I remember someone saying life begins at 40, and I remember being in my 30s. Look at you.
I'm at that
Does life begin at 40?
I'm at that place where I'm like, I'm so looking forward to that. I feel like I'm so looking forward. So yeah,
I remember someone telling me life begins at 40, and I remember being, I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? She's like, yeah, there's stuff you're just going to be at peace about. There's stuff you're gonna say, I'm okay with this relationship. I'm not okay with this relationship, and it's okay. I'm okay with what I'm able to do, what I'm not able. Like you kind of have it. You know, you figured it out. You've had your 30s to figure out kind of woman you are. And I was like, what? And I kid you not, life begins at 40.
It really does. It's true.
So more at peace with who you are. You know, you have a lot of, you're able to not angrily put people off. You're like, that's your opinion.
Okay.
You know, and that's why, like, for example, when people, there was a time when people were talking about, it's just for a short window of time, people say, Wahu menona. And I'm like, that really is a you problem. Because I'm okay with who I am.
It truly is a you problem. And also, you know, now that you've gone there, also a problem with our society, because I remember seeing that and I was like, she just had a baby, you know?
I know.
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
You know?
What's this pressure we put on women, but also women put on ourselves?
Correct.
So it's double fold. And for me, I realized, I was like, man, and I'd say it even to my friends, I'm like, I think if I was in my 20s and somebody said that to me, I think it would have broken me. You know, for many things. Maybe I had more insecurities. I was still trying to figure out who I am and stuff like that. But now, I'm like, I can't even have. I don't feel bad. I don't feel good. I don't feel anything. I'm like,
you're indifferent. So? It's your opinion.
And not in a bad way. I'm like, that's a you problem.
Niko sawa.
Hey, nimenona, by the way. I'm good. I'm okay, you know. So me now, I feel a lot more peace, a lot more, what can I say? Like I know. I guess also having raised 2 other babies, you know, you're not insecure about what you're doing. You know, she'll eventually go to school. With Tumiso, I have no idea what the rush was. My baby was in school to do at 2. And what I'm like, what was that? I'm sorry. So now when we're talking about it, and Shiro is now Shiro is my 3rd born, and she's now about to turn 2, and I can't imagine her going to, I'm like, no, let her stay home. What's important for her right now, 0 to 3, is to feel loved, to feel confident in who she is, to feel wanted. She will spend a lifetime in school. Right now, what's most important is she's developing her opinion of self and how the world, how she identifies with the world, or how she feels the world identifies with her. So what's most important is for us to feed that. Not ABCD. ABCD will come eventually.
It will come. It will come. There's no rush.
There's no rush.
Well, so you have 3 girls. Do you see yourself in your girls? Do you see, are there elements of yourself that you see in your girls?
I do. I see elements of myself, good and bad. And things that I'm like, man, we need to figure out how to. My firstborn is such a go-getter. Tumiso is such a go-getter, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna ask where that comes from. She's like, she'll go. She's like, I just have to win. She'll come and tell me, Mom, I tried to negotiate for us to share, like they were doing a student leadership thing, and it was a competition, and they tried to share the leadership, and it wasn't working. So she said, I just have to win. So I'm gonna have to figure out how, working backwards from winning.
There's no option. It's winning.
We have to win. So how? And I would see her. She does exactly what I do. I have a whiteboard, and I'm writing down my things. So I see her. So she has a whiteboard in her room, and she's doing the same thing. You know. So she's such a go-getter. She really speaks her mind. She's all that. I see things for me. I realize like insecurities about yourself, and I realize for me, maybe it's worth revisiting and see, did I fix that insecurity in myself or did I pack it? You get?
Yeah.
So for me to be able to help my daughter, I need to really have honest conversations with myself. Did I fix that insecurity with myself or did I pack it?
Yeah.
And if I fixed it, then I'm able to be very organic and authentic with her.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I need to fix it first.
Yes.
Because kids pick up your vibe more than your words.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's like a mirror.
Absolutely.
And we don't always like what we see sometimes.
No, that's the truth.
That's
the truth.
You had baby when you were, there's a term I want to throw into this conversation.
Let me sip.
Sip your water.
Let me sip my water.
Geriatric pregnancy.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that when I first had that term used on me, first I Googled it. I was like, what does this mean? And I was like, are you saying I'm old? Are you saying I'm pregnant at an old age? What are you saying?
I know.
So you had...
It's terrible. They need to change that term.
Need to change it.
You people who are in charge of terms.
Yeah.
Make it cuter. We want a cute word, okay?
Tell me a little bit about that, how it was. First of all, tell us why you trying to get pregnant. Was it difficult? Was it a surprise? And then just walk us through the challenges, if any, of you, because you're pregnant with Tumiso when you were fairly young, but now you're well advanced in age. The people who make terms well advanced in age.
Yes, they need to appoint you on that board.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So for me, I'd mentioned, Shiro is also a rainbow baby. Yes. I had 2 miscarriages before between Nyake and Shiro, and they were both on the same year. So that was 20. Lord, I think
so have you had 3 miscarriages in total?
3. Okay. I've had 3 miscarriages.
I'm so sorry, Wahu.
Yeah. Yeah. It's life, yeah. So when I was trying, they said that, and I had the miscarriages, and then they said, the doctors told me, because I did a couple of tests, they said, as you age, your ability to hold a pregnancy
lessens.
Exactly. So this is consistent with your age. And I said, oh my God, okay. So they said you still have options, A, B, C, D. And I thought, but with the options, does it increase my chances? What? I don't know. I was very not 100% about going the IVF route. Okay. Because I was like, what if I do this? All the what ifs now begin to creep in. Yeah. Like, what if I go all this, do all this, and I still lose? I cannot. Because I remember the second one now completely broke me. Because I was like, what?
Yeah. How far along were you?
I think about 13 or 14 weeks on the second one. So I was like, the first one was 8 weeks. The second one was like, I'm like,
that's a little far.
Yeah, so you're kind of like rooting for this and whatever. So anyway, I'm trying to not cry. Yeah. This is the thing.
Okay. It's okay. Even if you do, it's okay.
Anyway, so what then happened at that point is I sort of said, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And I think that was just my way. I didn't go for counseling. With the benefit of hindsight, I should have gone for counseling. Yeah. Because losing is traumatic. It's traumatic, especially if you wanted, and I desired so much, to have 3 kids. I don't know why the number 3 was such a big deal for me. Yes. It was such a big deal to the extent that if I saw a woman carrying their 3rd child, it was a trigger for me. Yeah. Not first, not second, third. It was always, and then I'd judge myself. I'm like, why can't I just be happy for her? Yeah. So, conversation, I'm strong. It's
okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so, so I said, if you're gonna give me a 3rd child, let it be whenever. And I just sort of was not using any contraceptive, not whatever, just kind of hoping and praying.
Yes.
But nothing was happening for a couple of years. And I'm like, same thing. I see someone carrying their third. It's sort of like a thing, and I'm like, okay, it's okay. So I remember it was 2021.
Yeah.
Towards the end, I was like, man, I can't go into 2022 with this heaviness of not having a third child. And I remember it was January or February, somewhere there. And I was lying in bed and I just said, you know what, God, you've blessed me with 2 girls.
Yeah.
They are fine, they are healthy, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Now, my prayer is anyone out there who desires a child, bless them.
Wow.
And I was like letting it go. And I literally posted it on my Facebook. Literally. In fact, I always go back to that. I posted and said, God, any woman looking for the fruit of the womb,
bless them.
Bless them. And then I left it and I said,
so
let me release this now and move on and take care of me and be, just, take time. My baby, my little one was older. Excuse me. And I'm just gonna let it go. And since they had told me I'm perimenopausal, I'm like, I'm gonna do the things. I'm gonna love on me.
Who had told you were perimenopausal?
No, doctors. That's why I was losing the pregnancies. That's what it happens it's normal, So it will happen.
Yeah.
You get. So I said, this is my season.
Yes.
I will embrace it.
Yeah.
I will be working out. I will be eating right. I'll be doing, those are the things. This is me. This is about me.
It's me time.
Yes. Until February.
A month later.
I'm like, God, you're hilarious. So what happened was I even went to visit a friend of mine and we always laugh about it. She had just adopted a baby.
Yeah.
And the baby was like 1 and something. You know that age where they've just found their feet and they're all over trying this, trying that. And he was running all over the house. And so I'm talking with her and she's like, Joshua, where's Joshua? She's looking for Joshua. Yeah. And I remember entering the car after that visit and I told my husband, if I ever needed a sign that I don't want to do this, this is this. I cannot be running around. Looking for Joshua.
Cannot
what
be
is
me.
in Joshua's mouth?
Shuka.
Wait, Joshua. I can't talk to my friend. I'm like, hey, God, thanks. I had the sign.
I'm okay.
I'm okay. Can't go back to that phase of baby standing outside the shower. Mama.
Yeah. Mom, under the door. Mama.
I'm like, no. So isn't God hilarious? He's like,
he
think
the best sense of humor.
For a fact, he has an interesting. I'm like, I don't understand. So for me, I always laugh about how I found out that I was pregnant. Because remember, this is the last thing on my mind. This is my season.
Yes.
To take care of me.
To reclaim your...
I'm about to get that 6-pack.
More like a 1-pack.
I'm looking for it. I'm about to...
Yeah.
So I remember the first time I'm feeling nauseated, but I'm thinking, we're coming out of COVID. There's all these weird things going on. And then this one day we were about to go. In fact, we just started doing a project together. We were doing our joint album, my husband and I. Yeah. And we had a whole plan. Okay. Right? So we were going to perform in Meru. Yeah. And I wake up that morning and I'm feeling off. I'm like, oh man. Malaria or COVID or what, there's something. Yeah. But also at the back of my mind, I'm like, this feels weirdly familiar. So I tell my guy, I have a very trusted Buddha guy. Yes. Guy. Yes. I told him, unajua pregnancy kit ni nini? Yeah. He told me, I told him, and a chemist can get here. Yeah. My guy asked 0 questions. He just went, bought with his own money. Yes, I love it. He came back and our team already is at the house. Okay. So there's a van that's taking us, there's music outside, there's dancers, everything. And my Buddha guy just does to the people and comes, hooks me up my thing. Yes. little envelope. I go to take a shower to get ready.
Okay.
And you know how we do the pregnancy. You have to pee on the stick.
Yes.
So I say, by the time I'm done with my shower, I'll know for a fact.
Yeah.
I just need to rule this out. You know, so I rule out pregnancy, then rule out malaria. That's how we, isn't it? You guys, I didn't even step in the shower. Boom, boom.
Like we are not waiting.
That was the most awkward shower. So I'm like, remember I was laughing at Carol. Baby, mama.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm happy at the same time. So there's all these things. So for me, it was such a blessing. I was happy and anxious at the same time, obviously, on the back of having the miscarriages. And that's why I always say, after having a miscarriage or something traumatic like that happen, you have to go for counseling. You have to seek out. Women, we're so good at packing our emotions and just moving right along.
Yes.
But you need to seek out help.
I agree.
And just because it's a deep thing. So that pregnancy for me was I was very anxious the entire time.
Yeah.
But I was healthy. Like I kept waiting for these things they tell me come with being older. My pressure was fine. My sugar was fine.
Yeah.
Everything was okay. And so you ask yourself, I don't know about being older. I don't know. Maybe it's because I had already so I didn't just start doing the healthy things. I had started a year before. I was working out. I was eating clean. I was drinking a lot of water. I was doing all. So I'm like, maybe that contributed as well to where I was at, or also just God. Yeah. You know, so a combination of various things that allowed me to carry well for the entire time.
Did you have to do? Was there any need to do any special tests during your pregnancy, or did you just decide, okay, we'll just trust the process? Was there anything not unusual, but anything special other than the ordinary scans and whatever that you have to go through?
So I was talking with one of my closest friends, Nazreen. She lives in Europe, and we talk a lot. You know, I'm pregnant, and she's trying to support me from there. She said, you know, in Europe, there are these tests that we do. To know not so much the gender but the health of the baby, and to help you either prepare mentally or to, you know, at least you know, you're aware, and then you're able to make a decision what works out, right? So there's a test that she told me, and then I talked to my doctor about it. So I found that it was important for me to deal with doctor who is specialized in delicate pregnancies. Yes. Yeah, because they call me geriatric. It's okay.
Yes,
it's okay.
High risk.
High risk, high risk, So he then would tell me what's available locally and what's not. Yeah. And I did find the need personally to check. Okay. You get so that I can know what the situation is. I'm not great with surprises, and if there's an option to know, I'd rather know. Okay. So I did a test, and in my case, we shipped a sample of my blood. Yes. There's a testing center in London. Okay. And this is to check for any abnormalities and anything. Yeah. And the test came back. It was the longest 7 days of my life. It was 7 days. Lord, and I'm like, I am waiting to just know what our reality is. And the test came back. Yeah. And she told me, my doctor was very candid. She said, if there's an issue, I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna say, you need to book out, you need to come to my office and we need to talk because we need to make a plan, right? If there's no issue, I'll tell you, congratulations, check your mail.
Oh, okay.
So it's an email and you can literally track the process. Yes. But she gets the results before I do. Yes. And so it was on a Sunday. I'll never forget, Sunday morning. Yeah. And I'm like, it's 7 days.
Yeah.
What message am I going to get from my doctor?
Yes.
And she messages me and she says, congratulations,
I
check
even
your
read the
mail.
rest of it.
I cried.
Yes.
I just cried. I just cried. And I was like, oh my God. I cried. I was just a ball.
Yes,
Checking my mail. And the test is at 12 weeks, they ask you, do you want to know the gender? And I'm like, yeah, I want to know the gender.
Yes.
And so I knew from that time I was having a girl.
Yes.
I'm like, I didn't even care.
Yeah.
Just have
a healthy baby.
Exactly. So I did that. And I really wish that that could be accorded to women affordably.
Yes.
Because I think it would be fair to give people at least to know.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
How
to prepare
yourself exactly.
Whatever the outcome.
Yeah, if you need to go for counseling, if
Correct.
you need to go for all this, what support there is out there. It would be great because I feel like it would be good if we deserve that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. And so, when we're still on that point, what challenge would you pose on our healthcare system, especially when it comes to maternal health? Because I feel like, you got that opportunity to go through that test, and as you've said, possibly majority of women cannot afford it here, and yet it almost feels like some things should be a basic need and a basic thing that is offered to women on their journey through pregnancy or even post-pregnancy. What do you feel like, even from having to having your miscarriages and up until little baby? What are some of the things you feel like I would challenge our healthcare system in this way, to do better in this way?
I feel like there's a lot of ways to look at that. I just feel like we honestly, Kambua, we have a very dysfunctional healthcare system. And it's unfortunate because we can't afford it. We can't afford, literally, we can't afford to be sick.
Yeah.
It's too expensive. How many chamas are we in changaing for one person or the other who is unwell? Yet we are a third world country. There's too many things that we need to look and say, we must interrogate this system and say, it is not difficult to fix it. We just need people who are willing to fix the system. Women dying of things that they don't need to be dying of, care, medication, all these things that were part of the things that even in the Gen Z, in the demonstrations were being brought to light. And I'm like, we just need, honestly, Kambua. It's a whole thing that we maybe don't have enough time to talk about, but we need leadership that is intentional.
Exactly.
Leadership that has people at heart. Because it is not that we don't have the finances to do what needs to be done. We are lacking leaders who want, or who are pushing, or who want, not to able, because they're able if they want to.
Yes.
And that's the only thing I'm saying. And even to us, I'm saying our end of the problem is we have to be very intentional about who we put in power. We can point fingers and it's okay. We should hold to account. But who are we putting in power at the same time?
We're the ones voting.
We are the voters. So this thing of voting on tribe, on what, come on. Are we voting the right people in? Are we putting people in leadership that actually care about us? You get? Or they care about them. And track record. There's so many ways to look and see how to get the right leadership. And we are sharp people. We just need to be intentional as well about getting the right people.
Agreed. It's a challenge that goes both ways.
It's both ways. And it's easy to point a finger, but I'm going to say let's point a finger back at ourselves
also. In finishing, Wahu, there could be somebody who's listening to you, or has been watching your journey, and they're like, okay, I am 40, I am 42. I feel I'm seeing that glimmer of hope of So this is actually possible, because I think the narrative has been, when you hit a certain age in your 30s, when you get to like 35 or thereabouts, kwanza when you clock 40, just forget
Kwisha.
it. Kwisha
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yes, yes.
But I feel like your life tells a different story, you know, and not to say, we're not saying that being, when you're a little older, obviously the risks are higher. That is correct. But I also love that your life is giving hope, a different ray of hope. What would you say to those women who probably, either the system or the society or whoever, or even just things have just not happened? You know, I know amazing people who just, they haven't met the person, and they're like, okay, people keep telling them time is moving. Yeah. What would you say to a woman like that?
I would first say, for anyone who's trying to get a baby, it's not over until God says it's over. Truly, not people, not even you.
Yeah.
Me had said it is over.
Yeah.
Cancel. And God said, psych. You think. No, it's not. It's not over until God says it's over.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's easy. It's not, you know, society will always do this thing called be in your business, even when they shouldn't, really.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's for us to learn where to draw the line.
Yeah.
You know, people will say hurtful things. They may not even know they're hurting you. Yeah. You know, I don't know. People they may know that they're hurting you. Yeah. There's all this societal pressure about, like you said, marriage, baby, job, all these things. Really need to know, where do I need to exercise that muscle that says, I'm drawing the line here. Yeah. This is where Wahu starts, and this is where society ends.
My boundaries.
And this is my boundary, and I'm okay with this boundary. Why? I've interrogated this boundary, and I'm comfortable with it. I've looked at it. I've said, it sits okay with me. Yeah. So what you think is what you think. And si kwa ubaya. Yeah. Sina bebe hata sina atiroho.
Ni yako. Yeah.
Yeah. So learning how to grow that muscle, and that's something for me I'm really trying to teach my girls.
Yes.
I don't know why we do that thing to each other. Wewe mbona haujanini? Wewe mbona haujanini? I'm really trying to teach my girls how to draw the line for themselves, so that as they grow older, it's easier and easier to say, no, that's not for me. Yeah. No, this is for me. Why? Because I've interrogated that, and it makes sense for me now. Yes. And that guy is not for me, even though there's pressure because I'm a certain age or whatever. Or I can walk out of this relationship because I've interrogated the things, making decisions as an individual, not based on society. That makes sense for you. So what I would say is, let's do more of that. Yes. Let's learn to exercise that muscle and to draw those healthy boundaries where you start, where society ends, also where children end, where you are, all those, you know.
Yeah. Boundaries. I love it. I think that's also, it's been a muscle that I have been growing for myself. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. True. The more you work that muscle. I was never, not that I didn't have boundaries, but I was always afraid of offending people.
Yeah, I know. But good girl syndrome. Like, I want you. I know it's not good, but it's
yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like good girls usually are like, I don't want you to be upset. So you end up maybe sometimes shortchanging yourself.
Exactly. So you hurt at the cost of
you're it's a win-lose. Yeah. The other person is winning. Yes. And you're losing. Yes. But somehow society told you this is how, I don't want you to be upset.
Yeah. So it's a muscle that you work, and it's so important. And as we draw our own boundaries, we should also be respectful of other people's boundaries. And what you've said, that we just stop. I usually say, it is bad manners, so I'll repeat it today. It is bad manners to ask people, utazaa lini, utaolewa lini, utaongeza mtoto mwingine lini. Like,
me, people have been praying for me to get a boy. I'm like, why? Stop. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yes, you told
Maybe
you will
want a
get
boy.
twins. I'm like, who said? Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you want to, you have the twins.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
like, and I think, as you said, people sometimes mean well, but it doesn't necessarily. Your intention is not a justification for speaking out of ignorance, right? So, Wahu, thank you.
Thank you, Kambua,
You do know
for
you are
having me.
absolutely fabulous, and we love you, we celebrate you, and you have continued to model being a woman, being a mother, being an artist, and being all of these things, and doing them so excellently, even though we know the crown is not easy to carry, but you've carried it so well. So thank you.
Thank you, Kambua, for having me. I've enjoyed talking with you so much.
Yay. My love to your kids.
And likewise.
My name is Kambua. This is Sauti Mama. We've been catching up with Wahu today. We will catch you again next time. Thank you so much.